Good evening, my dear students. Good evening, sir. The person behind giving the permission and making you visit this court is Mr. GSIB Vandanam. Please, sir. We are so much thankful to him for permitting us to have this evening a learning session for us. And he is one of the key persons in Visakhapatnam Port Trust, managing the inflow of traffic and outflow of traffic, and simultaneously whatever material is unloaded here, it is moved freely out within the stipulated time so that that place is made available for the next ship to come and unload their materials. So they work round the clock through 3 shifts, 24 hours, to make sure that the ships move. The turnaround time of the ships is maintained at the lowest. And I don't want to talk to you much because he started his career in Visakhapatnam Port Trust somewhere way back in 1983 after finishing his MBA like you. And now he is one of the key persons in Visakhapatnam Port Trust. Whenever any important person visits, and without his presence, nothing happens here. So that is the sort of a portfolio he is enjoying here. And now we are fortunate to have him today with us to interact with you and to answer your questions about the port and the other operations. Now I request Mr. GSIB Vandanam, please, to carry forward the
Unfortunately, today there was only one ship on the easily visitable side. So we had a little, we had a little problem arranging a suitable vessel for you, but that was the only vessel available. But in a way, it was fortunate for you because such type of vessels we don't get. We get mostly bulk cargoes which we handle a lot. But this type of cargo, you must have seen granite blocks, is that so these vessels come not very frequently, and maybe it was good opportunity that we could see them. Maybe some other time at any of the visits, maybe the other vessels which are normally available will be there. So yes, we had very few vessels, but it was good that we were able to see one of the rarer type of cargo handling vessels that we visited. So basically, I wouldn't like to go on lecturing about because it's not much that we can give in a brief lecture, especially at this late hour. So you have observed, because observation of new activity which you don't see in a classroom is something important which you have fairly good enough, lucky enough to see that. So what you are seeing, you will ask some questions because you have quite a lot of academic background. You must be having some questions. I would suggest and prefer, maybe that will be a better way for you to get some more meaningful information. And you would like to know something more concrete of the activities of Visakhapatnam Port in a brief form. So I have a few brochures which we make for our customers. So I don't have really enough copies for each one of you. But these we could recirculate. Just not that it will make much sense by seeing it immediately. Those we could digest after you take the copies. Yes.
To these 3 booklets, he is giving you the graphs of the volume of traffic, volume of iron ore, different categories of cargo handled. No, he's made an update graph on the port side. So he's also giving it, so that might give you a lot more insights to you. If anything is missing, then you can come back. It's already on the photo. They are being photostated and will be circulated here.
A small brief about that doesn't matter. It's fine. I would like to tell you basically briefly about what happens in the port. So this port, you can call it, it's a place where users come and use this for loading their cargo or discharging their cargo. We don't own ships. So, I mean, that's one of the conceptions that an outsider normally has. So in the port, this is a place where we facilitate handling of cargo. The ship owners or the cargo owners, they come and carry out their activity through various agencies. Agencies in the sense, maybe I could give an analogy like if you go to a RTO office, now it's getting reduced, but when you go to a road registration office, there you have some agent to take care of the activity that goes on. So here also the port has some agents who take care of the activities of a receiver, that's an importer, or an exporter. Like your exporter, you can say MMTC, well-known companies to Steel Authority of India, who export their steel, or various small time in the sense, in our parlance we call them small, but they are large exporters like this granite. So each man does some crores of business, but in our terms it's a small business because volume-wise it is small. But then it's a relative term. So these people, they export their cargo like MMTC, which exports a lot of iron ore from here, or these granite exporters. There are exporters. The vessel which you see, maybe each 10 blocks has an exporter. They load about 3,000 blocks in a ship, 3,000 to 2,000. So they will be having about 20 to 30 exporters. When you go through this list, you have numerous exporters or importers. I haven't given you the list because exporters and importers list is too vast. Like let us say we have about 500 or 600 customers. So I am not giving you that because it may not make much interest. But we have consolidated. Like the first page which I have given you, you have a list of major exporters, and then we have some pages where we have given the major commodities that go through our port. So that is basically what is happening in the port. That is as far as the agencies is concerned. Then this is a place where cargo moves. Like if you go to a railway station, the railway system is owned by the Indian Railways. They have their own trains, they have their own handling system. But in the port sector, it is unlike that. The port is a facilitator for various exporters, importers to have their own handling systems. They could employ their own handling agent who have their own equipment. And one recent trend which we are having is we are permitting very large handlers to set up their installations here. Like we haven't seen, because that's totally a different subject, where we have gone for a 30-year or a 50-year lease for someone to come and operate our major project. And iron ore is one of the major commodities that are exported from here, almost about 10 to 15 million tons of our 60 million tons cargo. So there we have given it to it's on an open bid system. We are given to a private operator, SR terminals. We call them SR terminals. They have taken on a 30-year lease to handle iron ore through this port by a revenue sharing mechanism. So it's unlike that. It's also somewhat like an airport. Maybe now you know airports are now managed by, let us say, Hyderabad, it's managed by GMR. So they have the franchise to operate various airlines. So they don't own airplanes. A lot of users like Indian Airlines, whatever, Kingfisher, all these airlines, they use the airport, they pay a fee for using the facility to the authority there. Here we are a government job, there it's a private company. So that's the relationship basically. So it is something like also like I'm give you an analogy so that you don't get port is not the handler himself. It's like a bus stop where a lot of buses come, taxis come, people keep going. Someone can manage the bus stop and get a share of it. So we are basically we facilitate that. So that's about port. And Vizag port handles about our handling parameters are shown in terms of tons that we handle. It is the cargo that passes through the port, either import or export. We handled about 66 million tons in the past 3-4 years each year. And we handled this through the vessels are there, the number of ships that pass through, about 3,500 vessels. So that is those are our basic parameters. There are vessels which carry about 2,000 to 3,000 tons also. Today you have seen a 10,000 ton arrangement. It was coming with a consignment of 10,000 tons to be loaded from Vizag. It goes to Kakinada, it loads another 4,000-5,000. Maybe it's going to Chennai also, I think. I think so, yes. Totally it will take about 25 to 30,000 tons by the time it goes to Europe. So that is about handling of boat. We have, as we told you, about 20 berths. That is 20 places to berth the vessel. And it ranges from sizes. We have a, what is known as, should I have that brochure, the colored brochure? Yes. We have what is known as an inner harbour, which is what you must have written long back in school book. It was a natural harbour which was built on the river Megadis. Okay. So this was the old port where the depth of a ship that could be loaded, as you load a ship goes down. Depth of a ship where the maximum permissible depth was only about 10 meters. And as the time went by, all the exporters or importers, they wanted ships which carried greater tonnages of cargo. So 1 lakh became the norm, and to cater to these 1 lakh ton ships which had a depth or a draft, we call it draft, draft of about 17 to 18 meters. So the inner harbour, the old port, could not take those big ships because it had its, the technology was like that, so we could not upgrade with the old facility. We built a harbour on the sea outside. It is called the outer harbour. So we have two harbours. That is the old inner harbour and the new outer harbour, which was in 74. We commissioned in 74 basically for the iron ore cargo that Japan was importing from us. We used to export about 6 million tons to 7 million tons to Japan in those days. Now Japanese component has come back substantially. It's only about less than 2 million tons. But others have picked up. We have an iron ore user on the west coast. That is it is SR steel. They import almost about 8 billion tons. It is basically coastal cargo, it's not foreign cargo. So to cater to those vessels, we designed those berths. We have about 6 berths in the outer harbour we have, which can take 1.5 lakh ton vessels. So, and then we also have a container terminal. Sir was asking me whether we could go to container terminal. That was one of our old privatization projects. It was totally leased to them for about 30 years. It's a totally different system. It's as good as Chennai port or Chennai port. That's why I couldn't arrange it very short. There we handle only containers. We handle somewhere about just a little less than 1 million tons of containers. And for your information, container traffic is measured in terms of the boxes that pass through a port. They are all standard boxes. These standard boxes are either 20 feet long or 40 feet long because they should be uniform, which carry various types of cargo. So each box of 20 feet is called a 20-foot equivalent unit. That is called a TEU. So that is how it works. That's in brief about the port handling system and all that. It comes under the central, this port comes under the central government and it's managed as a trust. It is not a government department, but it is formulated by an act called Major Port Trust Act 1963, where all these regulations are given, how a port can be formed, what should be its management board. And it's independent, it's to a large system, but major decisions are taken by the central government, that is the Minister of Shipping. So you could ask me inside the system, you could ask me some questions.
Any specific reasons for it?
Yes, because I have told you the government's policy is now to privatize as many activities as possible. So we were one of the ports which took a major lead in this, and we simultaneously took on almost 10 projects of privatization. That is almost, you can say, 10 berths. So in this process, 2 berths that were very vital for handling large volumes. As I have told you, we handled about 60 million tons of cargo. Out of the 60 million tons, about 12 million tons is iron ore, about 7 million tons is coking coal imports, about 3 million tons is another type of coal, that is coal which is used for locally in Chennai, 3 million tons, 3 million tons of fertilizers. Okay, it goes on like that. And oil is about 7 million tons. Oil in the sense petroleum products. We import about 7 million tons of crude oil. It is processed in Hindustan Petroleum.